Hey, what's going on, guys? How's everybody doing today? So for some reason I didn't catch it right when it came out, but I finally got around to seeing The Ritual. Come to find out, it was released theatrically in a few markets, but not in America because Netflix snatched up the rights to it. But after I got done watching it, I was just kind of like, dude, fucking why? Because to be completely honest, I thought this movie would have been ecstatically better if I'd have actually seen it in a theater with an audience. Because I personally believe this movie would have made way more money than the budget that it cost to make it. Basic premise of the movie, you got a group of friends that go out hiking for a vacation, and all of a sudden they gotta double back, so they take a shortcut, and a bunch of scary shit starts happening. There's a little bit more to the plot than that, but you know me, I like to keep things as vague as possible because I don't like to spoil shit for people. And like I said, this movie definitely would have made back its budget because this movie was actually good. Because in my opinion, the best kinds of horror movies are the kind where you can take out the horror aspects of it and it would still fit into its own little subgenre. Because in my opinion, this movie is way more of like a psychological drama about a dude that's trying to cope with a tragedy, and mixed in with like scary shit, like that meshes very well together. And speaking of that, the lead character was played very well by a guy named Rafe Spall. I don't recognize him from anything else, actually I had to look up his name, but he was very good. A little bit sketchy in the third act, but I'll talk about that in a second. But he played a very good, like, low-key damaged human being, I thought. Another thing that was really good about the movie is that the scares were a lot more nuanced. Like, I don't recall there being any, like, jump scares in the movie, which is kind of what everybody fucking goes for nowadays. Like, that's like the quick, easy thing to do. Also, this isn't the first time I felt this, but it was really apparent in this movie. This is the first time that I remember feeling like an awkward, embarrassed scare. Because there's a part in the movie where you really are, like, just so confused that you just, like, your immediate fallback plan is, like, fear. And I was just like, okay, that's weird, and I don't feel that very often. That was kind of cool. The music was pretty good. Not very memorable, but I feel like that's a sign of a good score. Because that means that it blended so well with the movie that it didn't stick out like a sore thumb. Now, as much as I really enjoyed the movie, it's not that great. Like, this movie slaps, but it's not, like, Alfred Hitchcock good. As far as negatives go, there was really only one guy out of the pack of dudes that I was just kind of like, he could have done a little bit better. Possibly because he had the least amount of lines, but I just remember, like, not giving a shit about his character, like, at all. Which is also another good thing the movie did, is it got you to care about all the characters so that, like, when shit goes down, like, you're actually invested. The biggest problem I have is probably the third act. Like, things just got a little wonky. And, like, slowly as the plot thickens throughout the movie, like, the reason why you figure out all the scary shit is happening, I was like, okay, very, very creative. I really like the idea behind, like, the whole movie in general. But at the same time, it just, for some reason, it just didn't sit quite well with me. Like, it just felt goofy at times, but at the same token, I thought it was very, very interesting and very creative, though. So it's like, props for trying, but not totally on the same page with you. And there's a couple goofy things that just happened in the third act where I was just kind of like, I don't know why that's happening right now. That's a little bit, like, what the fuck? Also, side note, there was one moment in the movie, it literally lasts for a second, but I remember laughing, like, very hard for a few seconds after it happened, because it was so fucking funny, but, like, after thinking about it for a second, I was like, okay, you know what? I probably would have done the exact same thing. Sometimes life is funny, and that very realistic moment was fucking hilarious to me. But anyway, guys, I actually really, really enjoyed the movie, and if this movie had come out in theaters, I would have gladly paid to go see it. But I think overall, for a score out of 10, I think I'm gonna give it a 7.7. It's really interesting, really creative. It wasn't lazy about scaring you, and if somebody asked me to, I would totally watch it again. But anyway, guys, those are my thoughts. What are your thoughts? Have you seen this movie? Have you heard of it? Hop in the comments. Let me know what's up. Other than that, if you like this review, give me a like, subscribe, do all that other bullshit, and I will catch you guys later.